During storms and the like, do you watch the skies? Watching lightning and thunder over a city skyline can be overwhelming, but it can also be beautiful. This clip, captured by user Denise Guzman on Twitter, gives you an excellent reason why maybe you should just close the windows. What seems like a normal clip at first, an intense light show brought on by a heat storm, lightning illuminating the dark purple skies and clouds, raises many questions. About 30 seconds in, something dark can be seen falling from the sky into a building. Could this be an alien abduction or a return of sorts? A fallen angel? Without more information, it seems insane, and who knows what it really is. Have you ever heard of the haunting legend of La Llorona? The legend tells the tale of a weeping specter whose fear and jealousy doom her to an eternal search for everything she's lost. At best, she's an old tale. Perhaps a Mexican cryptid, but could she be real? This clip, filmed in a lake surrounded by swamplands, captures a terrifying moment as a woman cries out in the dark. The driver looks around and there's no one to be found. They want to help, but sometimes it's best to keep to yourself. When you're at home, you want to feel safe and comfortable. This clip, captured in a family room with a woman and her daughter, shows moments as a little girl becomes transfixed on an unseen figure. She points him out as he's right in the dining room.
Show me. Yes, him. Wait, let me show me. Is he right here? Yep. He's in our dining room? Yeah. What are you doing in our dining room, mister? What does he look like? I bug. He's got bug eyes? Yeah. What are you doing in our living room, mister? Get. You go back home. You go back wherever you came from. What's he doing? Come on, you're creeping me out. We're going upstairs. Come on. You're scaring me. We're going upstairs. Yeah, you're scaring me. We're going upstairs. You are...
She guides her mother over to the dining room, describing the specter. She says he looks bug-like, and the mother tells the ghost off. Of course, this could just be a little girl with a wild imagination, but it could also be something malicious that the rest of us can't see. The two make their way upstairs with the mother claiming that she's scared, and in that situation, wouldn't you be too? Wouldn't you want to go if you were invited to check out a haunted space? This construction crew probably didn't have much of a choice. They got the job and showed up, but the man filming wasn't about to let the weird feeling go unnoticed. He walks around the construction site filming the dark space as he goes. He points out multiple times how cold pockets of space are before fixating on a single dark corridor.
Kitchen, like the kitchen area.
It is. They're real quiet about it. I would not go down there.
Oh, it's cold right here. It's the other way. Hello? I'm not going up there. Definitely not going back there. Oh wow, it is really cold right here. What was that? No. I don't think it's happy we're here. I don't know. Oh, holy.
There's an ominous low voice that numerous viewers can hear the supposed apparition. He looks up the stairs and he says he won't go up those stairs, asking why. And then again when he says it's cold in here, you can hear a distorted voice saying, "Get out." While this location was soon demolished afterward, you have to wonder, would that remove the ghost? Or let it out? Every once in a while you'll hear about some crazy miracle happening. In another town over or halfway around the world. People who can finally see after a lifetime of blindness. People walking who haven't touched the ground in years. It's fantastic, though often embellished for one reason or the next. Truth is, miracles are hard to believe, unless that is you've got some sort of proof. This clip shows one such miracle, a woman with an arm that looks like it's grown wrong, bent up against her body. It seems painful as she stands in front of the men, faith healers throwing holy water on her deformed arm as they hold her head.
Let it stay you. He's telling you, let it stay you. This is the last thing.
The celebration rages around them as she slowly stretches her arm out. The bone extends in a way it doesn't seem capable of, and cheers of encouragement keep her going. She looks at her arm in wonder as she appears to be able to perform something impossible. Exhausted, she breathes a sigh of relief with an arm fully extended. It's crazy to see it happen, and impossible to know what happened. All we can see is the sheer joy and relief in the woman as the crowd cheers for her healed arm. You often don't need to go far from your home to find an absolute horror. While cleaning his pool, this man encounters something. We don't know what's going on. Not really. The clip shows him frozen in place, not moving, or perhaps unable to. However, on the right side of the screen, you can see a black, inhuman-looking figure walking closer to the camera. The man is frozen, paralyzed as a girl comes up to him. The comments claim he was suffering from a seizure, which is likely, but what was that figure walking up? Right before, what happened in the pool when he jolted the net out? The simplest explanation is expected, but some things aren't meant to be really explained. Terror can be way more real too. You don't need to be surrounded by supernatural feelings to feel fear. This clip captures some of that absolute everyday horror. Driving on a dark highway, this driver caught a horrifying scene on his dash cam. Suddenly, without warning, a car on the overpass loses control and flies off the side. It careens down onto the road below, smashing against the concrete. The driver stops, swerves, and gets out of the way in time. If just a moment more had passed or he was moving a little quicker, maybe things wouldn't have been so lucky. It's always good to keep your eyes peeled, just in case. People do crazy things on the roads. It's high stress depending on what's happening. When people are pissed off, they're more likely to try to leverage the size and strength of their car against you. This clip captures the moment as a road rager gets angry, deciding to tail and harass someone who wouldn't let them get around. At one point, the driver makes his way up next to the person filming them, shouting obscenities and threatening him to stop the car. The driver knows better than to stop, knowing other people's stories of being surprised by a concealed weapon in the aggressor's car. Luckily for this clip, however, the driver behind him is angry and stupid, and instead of parking his car when he gets out to give the driver a piece of his mind, he puts it in reverse. This sends the car careening down the road and the driver has to run back. All of this commotion allows the driver to escape somewhere far away from their would-be assailant. Videos need context. How can we understand exactly what happened without knowing what's being looked at? There's a man transfixed with something off camera, so much so that he doesn't realize a car, horse, and buggy are approaching him. He stands there seemingly motionless as the car veers around him. The horse and buggy being carted behind are sent careening into a fence, and the man in the buggy flies off his seat and straight into the ground. The commotion snaps the original guy out of his transfixion, and he's horrified by the havoc that's been caused around him. But why was he standing there? What had captured his attention so thoroughly that all of this had happened? Was he just drunk, or was there something else? We may never know. The weather and natural forces are sometimes the most terrifying things out there. This clip is quick, almost blink and you'll miss it. The water rises unnaturally like a ghost from its surface. Slowly the ghost rises and moves across the water, only for a second one to rise from the exact same spot. It's easy to dismiss it as some natural phenomenon, or maybe it's something more. It would be nice to be able to dismiss all strange weather phenomenon as supernatural or otherwise spooky, but this clip is genuine and real and very scary at that. Another clip out of Romania catches a terrifying moment as roaring winds and rain wreak havoc in this little city center. There's a gust pulling trees nearly out of their roots and another that yanks down a billboard in the back. And just like that, this clip ends, giving a glimpse into the horrors of being caught in the middle of a storm without shelter. While one storm system can be scary, imagine your beach day was caught in the crosshairs of not one, not even two, but 3 individual tornado waterspouts. These people watch on in horror as a storm system envelops a once sunny beach day, growing darker and darker as the clouds cover overhead. Three separate tornadoes form over the water, and not just little spouts, they develop massively over time as the clip continues. The beachgoers begin to evacuate as the sand is kicked up and the waters grow dangerously choppy. This is far from the kind of weather you need to be in, and the quick, steady evacuation amongst the lightning and rolling thunder is the right way to go. Who knows how much worse it's going to get? If you've ever lived through an earthquake, you probably know the drill. If your ground is moving beneath you, it's always good to get somewhere safe. Somewhere possibly more steady, but somewhere where the world doesn't feel like it's falling around you. This magnitude 7.6 earthquake suddenly hit the island of Mindanao in the Philippines without much warning at roughly 10:37 p.m. People were out grabbing food, enjoying their night, only to be left covering their heads and hoping nothing glass came raining down on them.
Oh my god.
Imagine being out at the market with friends only for the electrical lines to start exploding and the world shaking from beneath you. It obviously isn't safe, but where are you supposed to go if you're already out? Sometimes when the world feels like it's coming apart, the best thing you can do is run.
Oh my god! Oh my god, Jesus name! Oh my God!
This restaurant shows what it's like without the cameras shaking, and CCTV captures the horror of an unexpected earthquake in perfect clarity. Have you ever watched a blank tape? Maybe it's better to leave those for professionals. Though they're rarer and rarer with VHS tapes no longer in fashion, you never know what's been recorded on one of those. It could be nothing, it could be an old birthday party, but it could also be a strange horror in and of itself. This clip opens up with some distortion, showing various clips of CCTV footage from what looks like a storage facility. In multiple clips, it's clear people are roaming around the facility, and in others, they look just like a black figure in the corner. There's nothing inherently scary about this clip, at least not on the surface, but it's definitely at least deeply unsettling. Desperate people do desperate things. These armed suspects were going to hold up this grocery store no matter what it took. The two men, with their faces obscured mainly by hoodies and face covering, forced their way into the shop with not only weapons, but very peculiar weapons at that. One man burst through the door with an axe, peeling the acrylic off its frame and smashing their way in. The man behind him carries a gun, and the two of them hold the small convenience store up, rushing in to make a grab for everything they can. The clerk on duty wasn't hurt. Thankfully, he complied with their every demand, and the two thieves made off with roughly $700-ish in cash. These sorts of corner shop convenience stores rarely carry a ton of money on them, but these men came prepared with everything they need to keep their identity secret and their crimes unsolvable. Not every parent is really meant to take care of kids. This body cam footage proves that, as officers needed to rescue a child from her extremely drunk and disorderly mother as he had been injured. The video opens strong, with the woman immediately aggressive towards the officers who'd been called. At first she refuses to let the boy out, but the female officer coaxes him out and asks if he's hurt.
Open the door. Where's the kid?
What do you mean, where's the kid?
Where's
That's my
kid?
son.
I know,
Okay,
where is
so
he?
wait.
Where is he?
Ven, puppy. Ven, puppy.
Come here. Come here.
Don't bang on the door and scare him. Okay?
Does your head hurt? Okay.
Es que mi hijo está la
8-7, conscious breathing. Head gash. It's not bleeding too bad.
Ya, se está pidiendo porque esta mujer vino y me pegó a la puerta y me está tratando.
A tearful child comes out and affirms it. Meanwhile, his mother shouts at the officer in the back. The boy has a visible head wound, for which he's treated. The woman speaks in Spanish on her phone, tearful and afraid, though clearly inebriated to some degree.
I have been getting my son some clothes, so you don't need to tell me.
Ma'am, let's get him some
No,
clothes so we can
sir,
get him
no.
to the hospital.
Stuff.
That's what I'm...
Other officer other than him, please. I do not want to do with him. And if I have to do with him, then I'm not going to do it. So get me someone other than him. Okay, thank you.
The woman quickly turns on the officers, losing her fearful and teary disposition from before as she refuses to let the cops enter her home to retrieve clothes for the young boy. This goes about as well as expected, as the officers are fully aware of how intoxicated she must be, judging by her behavior and the empty bottle in the apartment. She refuses to work with a specific cop, telling them off before they shift the attention back onto her and whatever went around the little boy leading to this injury.
Listen to me. Understand something.
Yes, sir.
I'm the supervisor tonight. You were
yes, sir.
extremely intoxicated.
No, I am.
Listen, I bet you that bottle was drank tonight.
Be careful. Bring your to that.
Okay, listen to me.
Okay, I'm gonna.
Here's the deal.
Harassed.
We are going to get your son to the hospital. End the story. We're taking your son to the hospital.
Let me call someone.
The woman refuses to cooperate as the officers question her, claiming she's being harassed. The boy doesn't know what's going on, tearfully shouting in the mix of high-strung emotions as he's likely scared by the noise.
Get out of the room.
Get out of the room now. I don't feel comfortable. I'm scared. Tell him to get
out of the room. I'm going to pull you out of that room if I have to.
Okay.
Get out of the room.
Pull me out of this room if you have to. Please, that has my baby.
It doesn't take long for things to go off the deep end. She refuses to cooperate even as they assure her an ambulance is ready to pull her son and the officer needs to physically remove the woman from the apartment. It's still not really enough because she screams at the officers that they're doing this to her rather than reacting to her behavior in turn. It's a scary situation that unfortunately happens all the time. We just don't always get such an intimate look at it all. It's better not to go out alone on an Appalachian trail. There's too much to lose and too many stories to mess with. This clip by YouTuber Alexandra Hilditch is just one of many reasons you may not want to follow in her footsteps. There's a noise off in the distance that she can't quite place. Staying quiet is no good. Of course, this clip ends with a happy ending. It's just cows. Nothing to be worried about. But it raises other questions. If you get too comfortable on an unfamiliar trail like this, will you mistake other noises for less terrifying things? Could it be cows or something in the deep dark of the trail that you don't want to see? Better off keeping a buddy. Another trail and another stretch of the Appalachian Mountains. You never know what you'll come across, and if you can't see it, who knows what it is. On the account View Appalachia, this hiker catches what sounds like a low, far-off scream in the mountains. While it sounds distant from the video, it's impossible to know what it really is. Is it another hiker screaming for help? Is it a creature calling for its mother? Or is it something worse that really wants you to follow its noises off the trail? CCTV footage is the ultimate no-context horror. It's just a stationary camera, catching events with no reaction. It's like being a voyeur on moments when you're not supposed to have seen. And this clip, more than any other, will leave you with a deeply unsettled feeling you just can't shake. The clip captures a horrifying moment as someone walks across the street, down unnaturally on all fours. The camera follows as they walk down another sidewalk and then through a breezeway. We don't know who they were or what caused them to move like that, much less if anyone else saw their horrific display and what it looked like at the moment. Maybe it was just someone doing a weird bit, but it feels like the kind of fear that horror movies are built on. Swimming in lakes and ponds is usually harmless fun, unless of course you happen to be sharing that water with a dangerous creature. Like in this clip posted on Reddit by Cinerest, which shows a man happily treading water in a pond as an alligator creeps up on him. Smartly, the man moves to escape as calmly as possible as the gator gets closer and closer. By the time the animal is ready to take a bite out of him, he's ready to strike back and make a move to get out of the water. Would you have been that calm in that situation? Out of every disturbing example of disrespect for authority we've seen, this one might just be the dumbest. In a clip submitted by Duck8788, we see a man on a bike riding up to a police vehicle. With two cops standing outside of it and clearly prepared to intervene, the man on the bike throws something through the vehicle's rear windshield, shattering it into a million pieces. The bike-riding vandal is then quickly apprehended. It's almost like he wanted to be arrested. Tuning in to see just chatting live streamers interact with people in the real world can be funny and even enlightening sometimes. Other times, it can be quite disturbing. This was the case with this clip from Quite Lola's stream in Germany. Just as she was talking about not letting the evening be ruined by terrible people, a man walks up to her.
Belief. I think it's shitty to let our evening get ruined by people that are just beep.
Can I say hello to you?
Hi, sure.
Hello.
No, I hold it. You can say hello, but I hold it. No. Don't touch me, you. It's not a fucking joke. Don't touch me. I hate humans so much.
He sees her streaming and wants to be on camera, which she allows. However, a tussle with the camera reveals that this interaction might not be as wholesome as it once seemed, and that becomes fully apparent when he leans in to kiss her without consent. Don't be like this guy. Here's some advice for wannabe thieves. 1. Don't do it. You're gonna get caught. 2. Don't post videos of yourself on the internet flaunting money made from stolen goods. 3. Don't cry when you get caught. It's embarrassing. For an example of what it looks like to not follow any of these rules, take a look at this clip submitted by Super Hunting Time Yahawk on Reddit. This Indonesian man stole dozens of smartphones and then made a video dancing smugly with stacks of cash, and then he cried on camera while police struggled to arrest him.
Sindir ini, ngasindir itu. Kita cuma tertawa. Kita cuma tertawa.
Kenapa kau nangis?
Semakin banyak yang tahu, semakin nggak bisa kita cepat pulang.
Boleh saja, Pak. Aku nggak mau, Pak. Aku nggak mau.
Alah.
Ilmu getar.
Gambar nih. Gambar. Yuk, ngatain lebih. Gambar. Nanti ku sharing ke kemarin ya. Gambar ini, nggak apa-apa. Angkat bang. Ada. Ini. Ini gambar ini.
Alah. Katanya cuma ketawa. Sekarang nangis.
Kalau lagi bahagia saya.
What a loser. When you get caught speeding, what do? If you answered throw a tantrum and get your lawyer involved, you're probably the woman in this clip posted by Save All the Elephants. This nursing student didn't just speed through the neighborhood, she also completed a speed run from a speeding ticket to actually being arrested, and it doesn't look like her daddy or her lawyer will be able to help her out of this one.
Hi. You know why I'm stopping you?
I mean, no.
You know what the speed limits are? Because I've been trying to catch up to you since Seminole Boulevard.
I don't even know where.
Okay. So when you're on Seminole Boulevard, before you get to the triangle, then you go off to Madeira Beach, and then you go around, and then you made your right-hand turn here.
When I go over the bridge you're talking about?
Before that. So on Seminole Boulevard and 68th Avenue, you're doing 62 and a 45. And then you continued at a high rate of speed over the bridge, the Tom Stewart Causeway, the drawbridge there.
I use my cruise control over half the time, and if I don't even understand right now. Like, if I was speeding, like, why wouldn't have you, like, if I was speeding all the way over there, which I wasn't, like, why wouldn't have you just pulled me over all the way back there?
Because I can't drive recklessly to put other people in danger to put up with you. Can you please have a seat back in your vehicle for me, please? And then may I have your license, insurance, and registration, please?
Ma'am. Alright, I gotta call my dad. I'll talk to you later. No, I don't even understand. I've literally been home.
Okay, then have a seat back in the car so I can handle all of this.
Okay, so this officer just...
Have a seat in the car, please.
I'm on our... Can you just look at our... I will, just please.
Okay,
I'm just trying to...
I've asked you to do that 3 times now because this is a traffic stop.
I'm at my house.
I told you to sit in the car. Sit in the car, please. I've asked you multiple times.
I need a supervisor right now.
Sit in the car.
I'm not saying another word from you.
Put your hands behind your back.
He's detaining me right now.
Put your hands behind your back.
What's going on over there? Ow!
Let go of your phone so it doesn't break.
My bag's literally... Yo, you pulled your body camera off. Guess what? You should turn it on because you literally pulled your body camera off on top of my...
Ma'am, because you were resisting, it knocked it off. And don't worry, my car camera recorded everything.
I don't understand what is happening. Like, I don't understand why she had to be so aggressive. I've never had any trouble with the law. Like, what is this?
Ma'am, I've explained it to you multiple times.
Okay, relax. I
I
have 2 months left of nursing school, and now this is gonna be on my record. I won't even if I can continue school, I can't even take the NCLEX. I can never even
For what?
work with
Why
it.
wouldn't you be able to take that?
Because if I have a misdemeanor or anything, they don't let me.
Well, back to the matter.
You can't be a medical.
Stop. And get yourself stirred up.
I am.
I know, but fact of the matter being, these things generally don't go anywhere, and they...
As an American, if you become drunk and disorderly in a foreign country, there's only a few organizations you can rely on for help. None of them are NATO. The drunken American in this clip posted to Reddit by Threefold must not have been aware of this because he asked for the North Atlantic Treaty Organization several times.
Let me talk to NATO. Where's NATO? NATO right now. Let me talk to NATO. Hey, let me talk to NATO. Right now. Let me talk to NATO. What is my rights? Is anyone gonna talk to my rights? Speak rights. Sit down. I'm laying down. What are you talking about? I want you to sit. I can't. I'm laying. Can you turn me? Where's my rights? Where's my shoe? Can I get my shoe? Can you put it on my foot? No, put it on my foot. Yeah, put it on my foot. If you want me to sit, put it on my foot. There's a right here. I'm a human being. I'm not getting on the inside. I feel naked. You guys are putting me in a car naked. Put my foot, put my shoe on. You guys are wrong.
Let me talk to NATO. Where is NATO? NATO right now. That Creek wine must be really good. This clip submitted by Reddit user S2Run6 shows a disturbing scene straight from Madrid, Spain. In it we see a woman making a break for it as she's pursued by a police officer in full riot gear. He catches her, and then in mere seconds, she's swarmed by other officers. She pleads with them in Spanish before she's stuffed back into a police vehicle.
Detenida. Que me toque con mis hijos. ¿Con tus hijos? Sí, coño. ¿Qué hacías de la furgoneta? Porque yo me quería ir. Y había, la furgoneta, ¿no? Que había... Venga, coño, para adentro, detenida, cállate la boca. Pero yo me quería ir a mi casa y no me dejaban pasar por ningún lado. ¿Subes en una furgoneta, verdad? No, ellos me han metido. Que solo me quiero ir a mi casa, que está meterla adentro, que está detenida. Sí, ese. Que me quiero ir a mi casa.
Did it really take 7 fully armed cops to convince this woman to get back in the van? This footage from the YouTube channel Cult Revolutionary Traveler shows a man in Argentina avoiding capture by the cops in his own special way. Seemingly riding on top of a moving car, the man stands up holding a stick when it comes to a stop. The situation seems serious at first, but then the man appears to twerk in the face of several cops, taunting them. The standoff goes on for over a minute, with the man swinging a stick and further taunting the police while spitting on them before he's ripped off of his pedestal and arrested. Maybe twerking is illegal in Argentina. Trains can become delayed for all kinds of reasons, but you've probably never seen a train delayed for this reason. In this clip posted to Reddit by the kid who runs, we can see a young bull strolling alongside the tracks of a Newark Penn station.
Due to obstruction on the tracks, all trains are subject to delay. We ask you to be patient. Listen out for the announcements. Keep your eye on as information becomes available.
How did it get there? Where is it going? Why didn't it just take a taxi? Ah, the beach. There's nothing like the sound of the wind and waves to heal your soul. It's also the perfect place to practice yoga. Just be at peace, find your balance, ignore the fully armed Marines chasing down a drug lord, and become one with nature. There's nothing like it. Sometimes fast food restaurants are gonna get your order wrong. Humans make mistakes. Most people know that, but not the people in this clip posted by Home Capital 9250.
That's no reason to spit on anybody. And you're condoning that?
She was rude. She was fucking doing.
No, yo no se lo voy a dar, que tal si me pegan. No, ma'am. I'm 30 years old. I'm not about to fight. We got this all on video. We're gonna call the cops. I got you.
It's not clear what went wrong with their order, but they felt slighted enough to spit on the workers, then trash whatever they could reach from the drive-thru window. This disturbing behavior isn't any way to act, especially towards any kind of retail or service worker. In this footage provided by Reddit user Jake, we can see a man and his son in a skate shop. The poster works at this shop and was trying to appease the disgruntled customer who wanted a refund for a defective skateboard truck. Ultimately, he wasn't happy with any of the options that were given to him and chose to grab the defective chunk of metal and throw it in the direction of his young son. Thankfully, the small boy bent over to look at something just as the object would have struck him and he left unharmed. This is why it's important to keep a lid on your temper. Tornado watch. The destructive power of a raging tornado is terrifying to consider. They've been known to level entire towns and leave nothing but destruction in their wake. This clip from Dr. Fetus RN shows the effects of a tornado firsthand. A lone car sitting in a parking lot begins to budge, being whipped back and forth by powerful winds. Then the tornado gets closer and the car is whisked away along with all kinds of unidentifiable debris. The storm passes, causing an untold amount of destruction. This clip posted by ProudBell6879 shows why it's important to keep your employees happy. In an unidentified factory, we can see a man dousing a work area with some kind of liquid. As other people move around him, then the trail of liquid is ignited and another man pointlessly tries to put the flames out. It's too late to stop the blaze. Goat influencer. Seeing people take selfies in unusual situations is common now, but it doesn't always end well. Just take a look at this clip originally posted by this Reddit user. In it, a woman is recording herself with a goat who seems to be tied up to a fence for some reason. She believes she's standing out of the goat's reach, but it soon becomes clear that that's not quite the case.
It's trying to headbutt me, bro.
It's trying to headbutt me, bro.
Just as she says it's trying to headbutt me, it does. Ouch. Letting road rage take over can put you and the drivers around you in danger. Just as in this footage submitted by Reddit user PostRV4, which shows someone following too close to a car and even bumping into it trying to get the car ahead to speed up. The road raging car seems very confident, right up until the car ahead of it slams its brakes, causing it to glide hard enough for its airbags to deploy. That's fast karma. And this clip from Willis7747 isn't from a Fast and Furious movie, but it sure looks like it. We can see a man climbing out of a moving car and onto a tow truck, which is apparently transporting his car from one place to another.
Gotta unhook it. Good job.
Instead of paying the fine or dealing with the issues that led up to the car being repossessed, he decides to take matters into his own hands. He detaches the car, then drives off of the back of the tow truck. It's almost too disturbing and crazy to be real life, but it would probably make Vin Diesel proud. Sometimes there's just no substitute for a good nap. The vandal in this disturbing clip from the Weird News YouTube channel must have had the same thought process, because that's exactly what he did. After breaking into a 22-year-old Scottish woman's house, the weirdo tucked himself into her bed, shoes and all, and took a catnap. She captured all this on a security camera and had the man arrested before she returned. Terrifyingly, he sent her messages through Facebook thanking her for his stay and saying that he hoped he could meet her one day. We've seen our fair share of robbery attempts on this channel, but nothing quite like this. In this disturbing footage submitted by Willis7747, we see a man filling up his car at a gas station when a van pulls up next to him. 3 men jump out of the van with the intention of robbing the gas bumper. Without skipping a beat, the man pulls the handle on his own gas tank and sprays the would-be thieves with several dollars worth of gas. That's enough to send them packing, and we certainly wouldn't want to mess with this guy either. If regular spiders are too scary for you, you don't even want to see what this next disturbing clip has. Posted by Reddit user Poetic Yak, we see a TikTok from someone who works in a mine. Apparently the worst thing about working in a mine isn't being hundreds of feet underground, the total darkness, or all the dirt.
What's the scariest part of working in a mine? The mine spiders.
No, it's the mine spiders. Giant mine spiders. The footage shown here by Reddit user Greensnakes is from a presentation at a Vietnam War museum. It shows a series of disturbing traps that use spikes in a variety of ways to slow, trap, or disable enemies.
Khi đối phương càng dài xơi đó, quậy rất giúp luôn. Rồi, còn đây là trong cái ship gà như thế này ha. Khi đối phương rớt xuống ship là giúp luôn nè.
Sọc vô cành sườn luôn á.
Rồi còn đây là trung hôm, trong mặt giống trong ban đầu. Còn đây trung hôm trong là khấu sâu khoảng 1 mét thôi. Thì khi đối phương càng dài xơi đó phải rớt xuống dính luôn. Trong này làm giảm sức căng đối phương, một người dính từ 2 đến 3 người đến trạm cưa phẫu thuật mới lấy được. Mỗi trong đường móc câu hết nha, dính vào dễ lấy ra rất khó. Phải đem trạm cưa phẫu thuật mới lấy được. Còn đây là trong cần cối, trong gà như thế này. Cho nên phương rớt cái đầu đánh cái đầu hết, rớt đây kia bổ qua đồng hàng ngược lại, khi được rớt cái này kia bổ qua liền, bổ hẳn cái đầu liền.
It's disturbing to think how effective these mechanisms would be, and how painful they'd be for someone who didn't know they were there. Imagine a flood that brings the water level up more than halfway past your kitchen window. It's a terrifying thought, but it's also part of life for people in Hamburg, Germany. Storm surges like the one in this clip submitted by McHamburg happen several times every year. People in Florida are pretty used to finding alligators in their yards, especially if they live by water. The homeowner in this clip posted by OKCriticism558 must have had enough because he took the matter of the unwelcome guest into his own hands. Literally. Just look at how he, well, there's not really any other word for this. Look at how he yeets this gator back into a lake. This TikTok from creator Wadelanagan shows an encounter with a terrifying creature from Navajo myth, the Skinwalker. What at first looks like a cute baby video is interrupted by a distant blood-curdling scream.
Stay there.
Can you say hi? You say hi? No? You don't want to say hi? What was that? Where are you going? Where do you think you're going? What the hell? Hey you, come on, let's get out of here. So I'm still walking this trail and I keep hearing that same scream. Here it is again. This is so freaking crazy. I can't even imagine what it could be. Like, it's definitely not a bird or some kind of animal. What the hell? Alright, so I'm about a half a mile down from when I first started hearing the screaming, and I don't know if you guys can tell, but that definitely sounds louder. So I am pretty sure that whatever the fuck this is getting a lot closer. Ugh. Okay, so I'm way farther down the trail and that screaming is definitely getting way louder and way closer. Hey, have you been hearing that screaming too? What is wrong with you? Oh my god!
The shrieks get louder and closer as the woman and child try to walk away from it, but then they come across another person on the same trail. Except he might be less than human. This footage from Anthem the cat shows an absolutely massive python that seems to have just enjoyed a meal. The bulge in its belly could be anything from a pig to a goat. It seems like it's being contained or trapped, but there's no telling what else it could eat if it got loose. We see nature's fury again in this clip from Medium Rare Steaks 2003. A tornado moves slowly through a neighborhood until it reaches a street light and telephone pole.
Oh shit. Oh my god. Holy shit.
The ravaging winds quickly swallow up the light, and you can see the moment the entire street loses power as the cables are ripped off of the pole. The person recording it is just as disturbed as we are. This footage given by Special Yam 8447 shows an Indian gar. Also known as an Indian bison, this creature has evolved to be incredibly muscular so that it can go toe-to-toe with its closest predator, the Bengal tiger. Sure, it looks like it ate a truck full of protein powder, but that's actually all genetics. Just a disturbing amount of muscles. Germs, sickness, disease. These are the very real monsters that stalk us at all times, but you can only do so much to protect yourself from them, especially when disturbed people like this are on the loose. This footage reposted by Reddit user Not Me No Way shows an absolute barbarian tasting soup from an open soup bar directly from the ladle, the same one other people have to use. As if that wasn't horrifying enough, he just puts the ladle back into the soup, contaminating the entire batch. Maybe it's just wiser to stick with canned soup. Imagine coming home late at night to find a thief stealing your TV. That's exactly what happened to this woman in the footage posted by Reddit user turned evil after ban. But that's not even the most disturbing part of the video. After their thieving efforts have been thwarted, the burglar dashes out of the house. They then come back to stomp on the TV, seemingly wanting to break it out of anger. I guess they never took the time to come up with a plan B. Chasing TikTok trends for clout used to mean doing a dance on camera. Now it means weaving in and out of traffic at over 100 miles per hour. This disturbing development is portrayed in this harrowing footage posted by Gardopolis 2, which shows a person driving recklessly, almost losing control and almost losing their life for it. When a car suddenly changes lanes in front of him, the driver has to swerve out of the way at the last second, almost driving headfirst into a lane divider at high speed. Thankfully, no one was hurt, but the situation had the potential to be much, much worse. It's understandable that cops would need to do something to unwind in their downtime, but what happens when their relaxing activities get in the way of protecting and serving their communities? This footage from 2017 shows two LAPD cops enjoying some gas station snacks and playing Pokemon Go. A harmless act, right?
Or are you watching a video, or are you playing? Oh, watching a video. Oh, okay. I thought maybe you were able to live chat with whoever you were playing a game with online right now.
It was, until other officers put out a call for backup at the scene of a robbery. Disturbingly, the two Pokemon Go addicts ignored the call and continued to collect pocket monsters and talk about their stats in the game. The duo was later investigated and found guilty of violating department policy by failing to provide backup.
Or are you watching a video, or are you playing? Oh, watching a video. Oh, okay. I thought maybe you were able to live chat with whoever you were playing a game with online right now.
What possesses someone to be a bully? At first, this seemingly harmless footage posted by Reddit user I Am Not Borat is just a typical one-wheel fan riding their motorized board along the quiet street. Then from out of nowhere, a gang of bikers rides past laughing at them. The one-wheel rider seems unfazed until the final biker rides alongside them and kicks them off balance, sending them tumbling to the asphalt. The sheer lack of consideration for this person's safety is disturbing, but they don't seem to have been seriously injured. Have you ever seen an elk in real life? They grow to over 5 feet tall, but they can weigh up to 1,100 pounds. That's not the kind of creature a human could challenge lightly. The person in this footage posted by Reddit user Mike is Too Tall must have been feeling particularly brave. After slowing to a stop right next to this fully grown elk, making eye contact with it, and challenging it more than once, I guess you could say he found out. Nothing humbles a cocky person quite like an antler slashed to a brand new tire.
There you go. Fucking flatten my brain.
Everybody handles their difficult times in different ways, but this Russian man has a particularly disturbing method of centering himself. In this footage posted by Reddit user SuperHuntTimeYahawk, we can see the feed of a security camera in the TV section of an electronics store. A few seconds later, A man wielding a hammer arrives and goes down the line, smashing each screen he can reach, sending TVs flying off shelves. The most unsettling part of this already upsetting video is the man seems almost bored while doing this very unusual, outlandish thing. Every neighborhood has that one street that people drive too fast on. Sometimes it's difficult to get speed bumps or stop signs installed, but you know what isn't difficult? Throwing glass bottles at speeding cars. This dangerous, disturbing footage comes to us courtesy of Reddit user YN90, and it shows what might be a mother taking the law into her own hands. Rather than flagging down speeders or trying to get her local government involved, she just chucks glass bottles at the people endangering the children of her neighborhood. In all honesty, it's probably more effective than stop signs anyway. Dogs make great companions, but they can make for even better security. Just look at this pulse-pounding showdown between a family dog and a brown bear trying to sneak into a random house. While brown bears aren't inherently dangerous, they are incredibly powerful and very unpredictable, which makes avoiding them the safer option. Thankfully, this dog barks and shows its teeth enough to get the intruder to turn tail and leave, saving the day. In 2023 alone, 30 people lost their lives after being caught in a fatal avalanche. It's a sobering metric, and it makes the following clip all the more disturbing. Submitted by Reddit user KillGuru, this footage shows a skier attempting to outrun an avalanche. As if that wasn't harrowing enough, the disturbed individual goes on to do a backflip, as if taunting the natural disaster to do its worst. It seems like they made it out okay, but it's not wise to mock nature's fury. It's well known that gray whales communicate through systems of clicks, grunts, and whistles, but have you ever actually heard what those noises sound like? This clip from Reddit user JacobWilliam87 captures several gray whales talking to each other, and the unsettling, otherworldly sounds can be heard as if amplified through a loudspeaker. Several other people can be seen recording the creatures, but what are these gentle giants saying? What do these alien noises mean? In the 1950s, one of the most popular shows on television was I've Got a Secret. The program would introduce a guest with a specific secret, and then a panel of people would then try to discover that secret. The following clip, submitted by Jeff Winger G, is from an episode that featured Samuel J. Seymour, a man with a particularly frightening secret. He was the last living witness of Abraham Lincoln's assassination. Seymour was 96 years old at the time of this recording, but he only was 5 when he saw something most people only read about. Some workplace accidents are more dangerous than others. This footage from Reddit user Enjoy the Silence shows the moment a smelting accident occurred at a German steel factory. As the molten white-hot metal spills out of its container and spreads through the facility, the workers can be seen calmly getting out of the hazard's way. Their professional indifference to this potentially life-threatening disaster is definitely disturbing. Letting go of a beloved pet after its passing can be difficult. It can be even more difficult if that pet lingers after its passing. Reddit user Warning No 9188 claims to have captured footage of the spirit of his dog as shown in this short clip. Once at night and once in broad daylight, an object on their outside deck moves completely on its own. Is this their dog trying to communicate from the great beyond? Or is this something more sinister? The dangers of reckless driving should be obvious, but some people never learn. This clip, posted by International Thai 914, shows exactly what can go wrong when traveling at a car's top speed for extended periods of time. Namely, the tires exploding, suddenly and violently. The footage cuts out after the driver loses control, but we get images of the aftermath at the end. Despite the entire front of the car being decimated, no one was seriously injured. "2023 was a banner year for alien discoveries, UFO sightings, and the like. If the following footage is anything to go by, 2024 is going to be just as active." Submitted by user EFH1, this clip shows very clear UFO activity in the notoriously active Cordoba province of Argentina. The tilted glowing disc is visible for only a few seconds before disappearing behind the tree line, but there's definitely no mistaking it for something made on this planet. If you've ever needed an excuse to avoid a camping trip, look no further than this clip. Submitted by Astrosonic Drive, the footage shows a reasonably disturbed and distressed camper shining a light on a very serious problem. Their tent is encased by hundreds of spiders. Just about every inch of the outside of the tent is covered with eight-legged nightmares, and if the tent zipper hadn't been properly secured, it's not irrational to think that they'd also be inside as well. This disturbing doorbell camera footage was submitted by SomeBlink4182. In it we can see a family enjoying an evening on their front porch when a truck drives by and throws an object directly at them. It's clear that the object is emitting some type of flame, but it doesn't take long for the true horror to set in. In the blink of an eye, the object detonates and reveals itself to be a mortar-type firework, which goes off in close range to not just several adults, but also an infant child. No one was hurt, but the thought of a family's peace being so violently interrupted is truly terrifying. Imagine going about your day in a small town when all of a sudden a mysterious truck pulls up and a helicopter roars through the sky with a heavy machine gun in tow. That kind of experience would be unfathomable for many, but it's exactly what happened in this footage posted to Reddit by an unknown user. Once the machine gun rounds start flying, civilians flock to find shelter. Even a dog can be seen trying to find safe haven as the war rages on outside. A nightmarish situation. Most people wouldn't need an incentive to stay away from a hornet's nest, let alone one that contains a giant hornet. But this clip submitted by Reddit user Cinerest warns viewers not to imitate the actions of the professional on display. Having captured the giant hornet in a dual container contraption, the professional then proceeds to flip the contraption over in an attempt to drown the monstrous bug. All seems well until they lose their grip on the top container, dropping it and giving the hornet a route to escape and enact revenge. They're able to recover and recapture the hornet, but this video could have ended very differently. We've all experienced strange noises or bumps in the night at some point in our lives, but Reddit user Faded47 managed to capture their experience on film. In the middle of the night, they were prompted to start recording videos of their surroundings when they heard something sliding around the floor. They focus on the source of the sound for some time until something spine-chilling happens. In the kitchen behind them, the dead silence of the scene is shattered as we hear a glass object being hit and then falling to the floor, shattering upon impact. Peering into the darkness of the kitchen, it's not clear what could have caused the incident. Cameras and in-home security systems are becoming more prevalent as the world gets more dangerous, but what if the intruder in your home can't be seen? In this short clip, we can see a motion-activated camera system changing its focus from the front door of a home to what seems to be the living room. At first, that might not seem strange, but the poster, Reddit user Marcus Nalgene, states that this event happened in the middle of the night and the only person was in the house at the time who was fast asleep. What kind of intruder can make themselves at home in your living room without making a sound?
Yeah, it's for Stan.
This clip from Reddit user Seance Has Begun starts off as a wholesome video recording to send to a friend, but quickly becomes something much more sinister. We first see a woman playing the video game Rock Band, displaying the skills she's developed as another person records. However, as the camera pans through the room to focus on the TV, you might notice that there are more than just two people in this video. For a brief moment, you can see what looks like a ghostly image of a person just standing in the doorway. The apparition is there for only an instant, because once the door frame shows up in the camera's view once more, it's disappeared.
Michelle's getting really good at the drums. So you might have some competition when you get back. We love you. We'll see you soon.
Ghosts and strange noises in the night can be unsettling, but the most disturbing events are carried out by flesh and blood humans. Take this clip posted by Reddit user Green Snakes, for instance. It shows dashcam footage of a driver minding their own business when a woman runs out in front of the car and throws herself into the front bumper as it slows to a stop. A man then comes in from the opposite side of the street, feigning distress. What we see in this clip is an instance of attempted insurance fraud, which the driver definitely doesn't fall for. Some people will do anything for a thrill, even when it comes to the cost of the safety of themselves and those around them. This disturbing footage of a bridge in Delhi, India was posted by Reddit user rstarphoenix and shows a reckless civilian hanging off the side of an auto rickshaw. His Tom Cruise-esque antics start off as reckless and dangerous and quickly become life-threatening when he collides with a person on a bicycle at high speed. Thankfully, the person recording stopped to make sure the cyclist was okay. Maybe there's still hope for some of us yet. Whale sharks are one of the largest living species of fish in the ocean. The largest one ever recorded reached a length of 61.7 feet, and the species as a whole holds numerous size-related records for the animal kingdom. So what could have possibly possessed this disturbed individual in this footage posted by Reddit user ManOnTractor to jump out of his perfectly fine boat and onto the back of one of these behemoths? It's unfathomable. It's worth noting that whale sharks are filter feeders and generally don't pose a threat to humans, but you do have to wonder what kind of karma will come back around for this kind of disrespect to nature.
My name's Dan Foley, I'm 54 years old, and I juggle flaming lawn chairs.
It takes a very specific kind of person to become a professional juggler, but what happens when you've mastered and perfected your craft? Where do you go from there? Well, if your name is Dan Foley, you move on to juggling flamey, unwieldy objects. This footage posted by Reddit user Rampchurch shows Dan lighting 3 lawn chairs on fire and proceeding to juggle them with a deftness that could only come from decades worth of experience. Is it a little extreme? Perhaps. Is watching a 54-year-old man juggling flaming furniture in the middle of the night disturbing? Absolutely. REM pods are devices used in paranormal research. Essentially, they detect disturbances in energy and fluctuations and translate that data into different colored lights and sounds. In this clip, posted by Reddit user Potential Sample 3969, we can see a REM pod reacting to something in a room full of creepy dolls. As the person recording the footage tries to communicate with the entity, something shuffles and falls over. Directly behind her.
What the fuck?
We aren't saying you shouldn't have a creepy doll collection, but if you do decide to have one, don't be surprised when there's some disturbing paranormal activity.
Make it stop. Can you make it go to blue? What the fuck?
According to poster Training Beat 7600, they moved into an apartment that was built in 1912 after its previous tenant suddenly vacated the home. For most people, that would be a big red flag. After some disturbing events occur in the house, like the one shown in this clip, they went ahead and did a spirit box session. The result of that session was a voice that repeated the word fire over and over again. And further research showed that the basement of the apartment suffered a fire in 1965. Maybe it's time to check the terms of that lease.
It's fucking moving. Look. It's my hand.
Meteor shower or something else? Many Brazilians probably witnessed the event shown in this next clip thinking it was a beautiful meteor shower. However, it might not have been something so innocent. This clip, submitted by Cineres, shows the classic signs of some kind of object breaking up and catching fire as it enters Earth's atmosphere. A meteor shower is an easy image to fall back on, but as some of the commenters note, the debris is traveling too slowly to be a meteor shower. There were reports of a Chinese rocket over Brazil around the same time. Could this meteor shower be the remains of that? What was a Chinese rocket doing over Brazil anyway? We may never know. If you're going to go for a potentially dangerous drive, your best bet is to be fully dialed in and paying attention. This clip, taken by a dashcam driver going down the Angeles Crest Highway, shows precisely why you can't check Kraut for even a second. The driver is swept up, clearly by the breathtaking scenery around him. The mountains are gorgeous and the sky is clear. He goes through 2 tunnels without issues, but the original poster claims he wasn't fully paying attention. He was going a little too fast and got distracted just in time to send himself flying off the side of the cliff.
Oh no! Oh no!
The car kicks up some dirt, rolling and flipping off the side of the mountain. Luckily, it didn't go far. He was unharmed and they even retrieved the car. While damaged, things could have been much worse. This is a nightmare situation if there ever was one. Sometimes horror makes sense. Terrifying things check out because everyone fears them. But what about the inexplicable? The strange, the weird, the absolutely bonkers. This man, fitted with a TV for a head, was caught on a Ring camera as he walked up to his presumably neighbor's house. He carries an additional TV, probably around 50 to 100 pounds, and gently sets it on the doorstep. That's all. He waves, saying goodbye before leaving. While not truly horrifying, in fact it might just be an odd dude doing odd things, this clip is enough to make anyone pause. If you saw this on your Ring camera, would you not be slightly unsettled? Uncanny, skin-crawling horror is just as bad as any other because the feeling sticks with you. Sometimes nature is freakier than any man-made insanity. This anaconda found in Brazil is enough to haunt anyone's bad dreams. In the shallow, murky waters of the Amazon, we can see the monstrous outline of a creature that has grown well past its general species size. This guy looks like a prehistoric relic, something out of time and too big for this world. If you ever saw this in the wild, it would probably already be too late. Would you try to outrun a dinosaur? Probably not. So why would you even try with this one? Have you ever imagined what your last moments might look like? If you went missing, what would you be remembered for? When this man went missing in Oregon, he likely thought this would be like any other trail expedition. He wasn't filming to capture his last moments. He was just filming for memory's sake. He takes stock of where he is, his tent, and his surroundings. A few moments later, he takes a wide shot of his surroundings, remarking how beautiful it was. A few hours later, he's woken up by some loud noises, noting that someone outside his tent is making the noise. He films these noises, which sound like rocks or bottles being hit.
That can't be. That gets us. That's someone's messing around with the rocks out there. Jesus Christ. Leave me alone!
He shouts at the intruder to leave him alone and is met with continued attention as the figure rips his tent open. He's out in the dark now, using night vision to navigate the dark forest. Of course, stumbling around in the dark is dangerous on a good day. Worse if you're abandoned in the forest. The clip ends suddenly when the man captures a figure far off in the darkness, coming closer to him. It looks a bit like a humanoid, and many commenters claim it looks like an alien. One thing's for sure though, alien or not, the man did go missing. He's the only one who'll ever know what happened, if he's still out there. Luckily, sometimes nature is on our side. As caught by CCTV, this young girl was being approached by a suspicious-looking car. It pulls up beside her. We can't see the people in the car, but we can see the immediate hesitation and fear in the girl as she backs away from the vehicle suddenly. Just as she backs away, a dog comes up behind her. The dog begins barking, immediately aggressive towards the vehicle. He's small but enough to put the would-be assailants off their target. The vehicle suddenly drives away. Spooked by the dog, perhaps, or maybe the unwanted attention a yappy dog might bring to this situation. One way or another they leave, and the girl is safe from what could have been a very morbid fate. All of this thanks to a stray terrier on the street. Man's best friend for sure. Dashcams worldwide catch all sorts of things. The good, the bad, and the very ugly. This dashcam captures a terrifying moment as drivers narrowly survive a bombing, something that most people will never deal with in their lives. Suddenly, a projectile flies into a nearby building, breaking the sound and sending debris flying. The drivers react quickly, however, swerving the damage and getting to safety in seconds. Do you have reaction times this quick? Could you dodge wildly flying debris moments after a missile hits just a few feet away? Depending on where you live, this might seem like a typical weather pattern. This dust devil cyclone doesn't set off any alarms at first. If that was the case, it wouldn't have made today's list. However, in just a few seconds, you can see a strange figure in the middle, like a man stuck in the swirling vortex of dirt and dust. The peculiar figure seems to rise before suddenly disappearing, like the rest in a poof of smoke. Maybe it's a trick of the light or something else, but it looks like a very cleverly disguised midday alien abduction. What do you think? Let us know in the comments. We're lucky to have dashcams in our lives. Every time a new clip of something insane happening on the road surfaces, a new wave of people install them in their car. And that's for the best, because these dangerous sorts of situations happen all the time. This driver catches a perilous encounter with motorists as they aggressively cut him off in traffic. He attempts, multiple times, to get around and away from them, but they won't let him go. Suddenly, the motorcyclists gang up on the man, driving into his car and attempting to remove him from the vehicle.
Huh? Sorry, no, sorry. Sorry. Sorry.
Thankfully, the driver drives away quickly enough to get himself to safety, but even just a few moments more and it could have ended in disaster. Road rage is a killer. It's best to find an exit if possible.
Walmart get a man $20.
People are strange, and desperate people do desperate things. This clip shows a Walmart shopper who had the right idea and faced his fears head on. It captures the moments as an armed assailant waves a knife around, shouting things out into the Walmart. While he's not immediately threatening anyone, he's creating a threatening situation in which everyone involved has to wonder whether they're safe. The shopper, not a police officer of any kind, takes a quiet moment to disarm and restrain the would-be attacker before things get wild or anyone gets hurt. The larger man in the dark red hoodie swings at the man, attempting to disarm him. It doesn't work and the man returns immediately swinging, still not attacking anyone, but the energy is high and dangerous. Not even a moment goes by before a second man uses a stand to whack the assailant over the head. This disarms and brings him to the ground, leaving him unable to get back up. Officers keep the stunned man down and bring him into custody, and it couldn't have been too soon. Without the quick-thinking hero shopping for their groceries, who knows what could have happened.
He had a knife. That's why they tried to get it from him. That's all. And he was saying he was gonna stab people because he wanted $20.
Camping can be terrifying, especially if you're alone. Being out somewhere unfamiliar, you never know what you'll encounter.
All right, crew. You know the deal by now. Let's go on an adventure.
This YouTuber, user Fearless and Far, is known for his travel and excursion videos, pushing himself to the outer limits of fear by going on adventures that other people wouldn't dare. He's come to Satan's Castle in northeastern Turkey this time. This abandoned fortress is a gorgeous testament to time. It's overgrown but still incredible. He goes about his time, setting up camp and exploring the grounds with wonder. A Bronze Age beauty likely built by the Urartuns, but it's been a strong fortress for all who conquered the land over the years. The absolute horror of FNF's overnight stay doesn't start until much later. He's treated to a terrifying climb, exploring in the dark as he suddenly hears gunshots. None hit him, but the explorer knows they were meant for him.
A gunshot. I didn't hear it, and I continued around the side of the castle in view of the path.
He sticks his ground, trying to understand where the shots are, but the shooting doesn't end there.
Guys, someone came with a gun and fired shots at the castle. They're firing shots at me.
They continue to shoot at him, and the camper reaches out to a friend who reaches out to the police. He soon learns that the police have been there for over an hour, trying to apprehend a terrorist treasure hunter, which he realizes soon was actually him. The people shooting were the police, who didn't take too kindly to his appearance at the fortress. It was all a misunderstanding, but one that could have gone south without a bit of care. Could you have kept your cool if you thought you were being targeted and shot at in a foreign country?
Guys, someone came with a gun and fired shots at the castle. They're firing shots at me. I left everything behind, and now I'm trying to find a safe place to go. That's them there with a flashlight. They're coming closer.
Nature can be dangerous, cruel and unfeeling because it just happens to the world indiscriminately. The school surveillance system for an elementary school in Andover, Kansas catches the moments as nature rips the earth apart. The wind suddenly picks up, tearing everything in its path. You can see trees whipping outside as gates and bike racks go flying. There's a good reason. If you're in an area that gets tornadoes, that they'll tell you to just seek shelter and cover your heads because there's almost nothing you can do against a storm of that magnitude. It tears the courtyard to shreds, leaving nothing but wreckage. In just seconds, the cafeteria area looks like a war zone. Windows are sucked out, glass shatters, and the world just succumbs to the storm for a moment. Obviously, this storm was evacuated. No students were in the building, and while the buildings in the area sustained substantial damage, it wasn't enough to harm anyone. Next time you hear about tornadoes, just know they're nothing to scoff at. When backed into a corner, your choices may not make sense. People under high stress levels can rarely make sound decisions. They're looking for a way out, a safe escape, something to alleviate the terror they're dealing with. This driver, surrounded by cars, was terrified and fled in response to suddenly being surrounded. Not knowing what's going on, we can at least empathize with the flight or flight response, right?
Hands up! Hands up! Hands up! Turn up! Hands up! Hands up!
Things start slow, but the man behind the wheel guns it when he panics. The chase takes a surprising amount of time, with the driver losing the cops several times on the highway while going at an alarming speed of 110 miles per hour. He handles the car incredibly well, even at high speeds. Except eventually the vehicle has to stop. The minivan is losing speed as it begins to run out of gas. He could have likely used a fuel up before engaging like this, but it's not like he knew he'd be in a chase, so we can forgive the lack of forethought. As soon as he's caught, the bravado is gone. He's on the ground, being shouted at but complying with police. When you're caught, you're caught. It's hard to argue there.
Lord, please. All right, calm down. You're under arrest now. We're done. You're caught. We're done. Okay. You got anything on you I need to know about? Any weapons? No, but my arm. Everything in the car's yours? Okay. How come you ran, man, when we pulled up?
It's an elusive creature. Alright, just squat it down.
Do you believe in Bigfoot? Millions of people all across the country have claimed to see the ape-like cryptid in various places, everywhere from the Appalachians to the Pacific Northwest. This clip was caught during a train ride from Durango to Silverton as passengers cut through the San Juan National Forest in Colorado. The clip shows Bigfoot, a shaggy humanoid hybrid-looking creature, walking through the brush before sitting on a particularly flat rock. While the park services have claimed to be aware of this new Bigfoot evidence, they refuse to weigh in on it. Bigfoot is almost as fun as an unknowable cryptid. What do you think?
Yeah, let me see your camera, I'll do it.
Kids always say scary things. They're processing the world around them with a limited understanding, so they say things that don't quite make sense. Imagine what it would feel like being a babysitter and for the kid you're watching to come out with something so out of pocket you have to dive a bit deeper. This babysitter did just that. The little girl he watched claims her baby doll moves only when they play hide and seek.
You said it moves? That doll? This doll?
Yeah.
Like you move it, or? What? When does it move?
When you play hide and seek with her.
When you play hide and seek?
Yeah.
Bro. Oh my god. Sadie, you scared me. Don't do that, dude. Yo.
Ignoring everything he probably knows from horror movies, the babysitter himself decides to try it out, keeping an eye on the doll only to eventually be scared by the dog making her way into his face. That's enough excitement for one night. Except after the girl had gone to bed, he wanders back to the now dark living room only to see something inexplicable. In the grainy darkness of the clip, it looks like the doll has moved the moment they stopped watching her. What do you think? Real or not? What do you do when your culprit is a creature of the night? There's no code of ethics that animals need to obey, no laws that can keep them held without bond. This rat probably doesn't even realize what he's stealing is expensive, but from above he jumps in, moving with a purpose as he yanks the diamond necklace off the stand. Then, without hesitation, he jumps right back up where he came from, effortlessly stealing the necklace. Cat burglars beware, there's a new mouse in town. If you've ever looked at a trail cam, you know there's far more than you'd realize out there going bump at night. This clip shows a seemingly peaceful night deep in the woods on the trail. Suddenly, something hops into the frame from the right side of the screen, skipping and hopping unnaturally. It's unclear what we're looking at here. A coyote, a fox, maybe a miniature horse? Probably best not to go looking for this strange creature. Who knows what else is out there?
Happy birthday to you.
On your birthday, getting swept up in all the celebrations around you is easy. You might not 100% know what's happening because there's so much around you. This woman was singing along with her loved ones in front of a lit cake when her candles suddenly blew out from under her. The shock and surprise on her face were enough to know it wasn't just someone else in the room. Was it a trick of the light or a ghost? Could it have been something else entirely? That's the beauty of a scary clip on the internet. We may never know.
Happy birthday.
Not all storms are sudden, but it's best to be prepared when they are. You don't always get warnings when the tides are about to turn. The Northeast rarely deals with tropical storm weather, but when they do, things do get a bit crazy. From insane water leaks to roads turned into rivers, the 2023 flooding in New York City is something from legend.
Oh my goodness.
People still need to go about their day. New York isn't the city that never sleeps for nothing. However, with anywhere from several inches to a foot or two, this water was unlike anything they'd ever seen. Subways filled with water, leaving people without a ride to work. People who opted to drive were no safer, stuck on roads that looked more like rivers, just hoping their car wouldn't give out along the way. For future reference, these are not the conditions you want to drive through, but you probably knew that already, right? If you made it this far, consider subscribing to our channel, Unpopular Notes, before we see our final clip, a sight to behold. Each week we post 2 new videos showcasing real-world dangers, terrors, and crime, keeping you informed about what's really happening out there. And if you're subscribed, make sure you have notifications turned on to stay updated on the latest releases. If you've enjoyed this one, there's way more where that came from, and you won't want to miss it. It's clear that sometimes things aren't meant to be understood. Without proper context, video clips look absolutely insane, but sometimes that's the best you can do. This CCTV footage catches the moment as one man attacks another on a seemingly empty road. The first man becomes aggressive as the other falls to the ground. However, something emerges from the man on the ground in a split second. It looks like a ghost, a ghoul, or maybe even a demon? The second man recoils, running away, and suddenly the creature is gone. The man gets to his feet seemingly unharmed and unaffected. Maybe it's just clever video editing, but maybe it's not meant to be explained.